Hey guys, welcome to your sixth C++ tutorial, and in this tutorial I want to explain a few more things about variables that you should know. And the reason I'm doing this is because variables are essential to any programming language and you should know the best way to use them. So in previous tutorials we were always declaring a variable as an integer data type, int x, int x. So we were always giving it this value. Now the int is actually the data type of the variable. That means that if we give the variable x the data type int, that means that it can only store an integer value. So for example, it can store 10, but it can't store 10.11. It only stores whole values. So if we try to print this out in our program, then we will not get the floating point value. We will only get the whole number value, which is 10 in this case. So that is one thing you should know. So there are three basic data types, and every variable you use has to be declared with a data type. So the three most basic data types are int, which is for integer values, float, which is for decimal values, and char, which is for character values. So if we just call it char, let's call it float in this case. And now if we run the program, we see that the decimal value will also be printed. See, it gives up 10.11. And now in character case, if we give x the value char, now char can only store a single alphabet or numeral value. So like we have to give it in single quotes, and suppose we give it a, only one character, and now if we print this out, we get a as our answer. Now if we give more values, you see that we'll get an error. See, it still only prints out a, so it only prints out the first letter. And if you want to suppose give it more, give it a bigger value, like I am hungry, so you will see that and you for this sort of variable you have to define it as a string. So data type is string. A string is basically a character of data, a collection of characters. So see, all of these are actually one character, even the blank space as well. So if we run this, we see that it prints out, we see that it prints out I am hunger. So anyway, so we get that. And okay, some more things about variable naming. You cannot you have some basic rules when it comes to naming your variable. So one of those rules is that your variable should not start with a number. So the name of your variable cannot be like int1x. It won't work. This will not work. You will get an error. This isn't a variable. So and another rule is you cannot give any blank spaces between your variables. So like suppose you want my name. This is not one variable. This is not a variable. You'll get an error for that. For blank spaces, if you want, you can use underscores and no other special symbols. You cannot use the slash, you cannot use the question mark, you cannot use any other special symbol other than your underscore. Also, your variable should not have any have the name of any keyword. Now what keywords are in C++ you have certain words that are already defined by your compiler. For example, you cannot name a variable include, because that's already being used by #include iostream.h. And so that's that. You cannot name it a keyword, like you can't call it int, you can't call it return. So that's that. Okay, that's pretty much all I've got for this tutorial. So subscribe to keep in touch with my videos, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.